Breeze outside in Bremerton. Welcome to our broadcast. It's 3:02 in Kitsap County. It is May 2nd, 2023. I hope everyone is having a productive and fruitful day. As you know, every first Tuesday of the month, we have Kitsap Regional Library comes on and tells us what's going on with the library and across the county. And so we won't even wait because, man, this is one of my favorite shows. So let me go ahead and bring on the illustrious and the wonderful Priyachari, our adult librarian down at the MLK Library downtown. Hey, Priya.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am doing just fine. I'm excited to end my day and go get some sunshine. How about you, Marwan? How are you today?
It's unfortunately I'm stuck because it's tech day for me and I'm trying to integrate a whole bunch of new things. And so I'm in all this testing phase. So I probably won't get to see outside at all today.
Oh, it's too bad. Well, you'll have to do
However,
it
I
next
think
time.
it's going to be really hot this summer, so I'll get plenty of days to
Yeah.
get out there and get some enjoyment and some sun. So
Fair
yeah.
enough. It looks like you've got a really cool tech setup behind you.
Well, the studio has changed as we are doing more things from the home studio here, G2 Prime, if you will. And so I needed to kind of switch things up. So let's see, I might be able to show you there. Whoops. So, the regular studio is still here,
Sure.
but that is for the guests. But now I can actually face them. And normally, this is what I'm looking at because usually we're both facing the same direction. So there's the four monitors, there's a big monitor above me. There's actually a monitor above that fireplace and that other scene there, so that people so I can see what's on that screen. So, you know, just trying to get everything integrated and good. And so lots of fun, lots of fun.
I'm impressed. It looks like a really good setup.
So it is May 2nd. And, first I wanted to start off by saying one of the reasons, there's lots of reasons why I like doing this show, but one of the reasons why I really enjoy doing this show is there's so many things to learn about, right? There's so many different cultures and so many different things going on. And you can be as proactive and have the desire and the interest as much as you want, but there's only so much time in a day. And so one of the things I'm most appreciative about the Kitsap Regional Library is the fact that thematically there are different things going on, and I could just kind of follow that, and I can get exposed to different cultures and ideas and books, and so that's just a great way for me to say, okay, I could stay in tune, not have to beat myself up because I just don't have time to learn it all. It's like just engage as it comes through every month. So I really appreciate the library for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We love hearing that sentiment from, like open-minded learners in our community, especially for people who are really busy or might have kiddos at home or might be kiddos who are busy with school. We really want to make it easy for everyone in our community to learn the best way that works for them, and having occasional observances or heritage months like we're in right now are really good ways to sort of open that door. And then along with that, for those of us who maybe want to learn because we don't know, the flip side of that is that for every heritage month like we're in now, we're in Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander month. For those of us who do fall in that category, it feels really good sometimes to see that there are pieces of content, pieces of media, books, movies, music, games that feature our lives and our stories and our histories. And so it's just a way where we can make sure we're connecting with our community, both people who do see themselves in those stories and people who don't but want to learn from them. So this is a really good opportunity for that. And we are so grateful to be able to play a part in connecting people with those stories.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So what's happening in May of this year for the Kitsap Regional Library System?
Yeah, so we got a lot going on. I won't do the whole like page by page through Inspire because I'll say come by to one of your library branches and pick it up. As you know, our May Inspire is available in all of our branches. It's got all of our programs and events throughout the entire month at all of our locations, and that is all pretty solid, pretty standard. We also are launching our new website tomorrow. So
What?
I am gonna, there we go. It's something to celebrate. So for the purposes of today, we're going to pretend it's tomorrow and just jump right into the new website when I share in a bit.
Nice.
Because the old one was, beloved and I am very much used to it, but the new one just has a lot more capabilities to it. So we're going to dive into BiblioCommons is the platform and really explore what that has to offer. So that is launching tomorrow, and that will be our website from here on until they come up with the next big new one, whenever that is. And then also in May, we start to put feelers out to get people interested and ready for summer learning, which starts June 1st.
Wow.
So I'll hold off on talking about summer learning until maybe our next one. That way I can share all the things. But just keep an eye out for that. If you pick up an Inspire, there's a little blurb about summer learning in it as well. Just get ready to do some good reading this summer and to win some really cool prizes. So we're all hands on deck getting ready for that. Also, among, we were talking about, the Heritage Months, May is, as I mentioned, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And you may hear a few different terms for this. I think the official U.S. government Library of Congress sanctioned one is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. You may hear AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander. They all sort of refer to anyone whose heritage stems from the continent of Asia, which, as we know, is a very large place with lots of different countries in it. And then Pacific Islands. And then we have, being on the West Coast, a pretty large population of people who hail, or whose families have hailed from Asia and Pacific Islands. And also Bremerton, we've got a really lovely community of people who call Hawaii their home, and Native Hawaiians especially. So we really wanted to make sure that we're honoring each of those groups in the way that we talk about this month, because words really do matter and recognizing people by name really matters. So you'll see we have flyers and displays and bookmarks in our branches that will say AANHPI. And so just get that in your head: Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander. It's a mouthful, but it really is worth making sure we name these communities that we're hoping to honor. So what I'll do, I'll share my screen right quick. Give me a moment.
All right.
Beautiful. Are you seeing our website?
We are.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is the new KRL as of tomorrow. You'll see the URL here. It's kitsap.bibliocms.com. You do not have to remember that. It should go back to krl.org when we shift over. So pretend that ain't happening, but I'll bring you to our homepage.
That's the secret way in, if you know.
It's also just linked from our old website, krl.org. So this is the original, the OG. And you'll see in the big banner here, and then also in a little splash banner here, it's telling you the new website is coming. So we're actively trying to push people toward it just to help get them acclimated to it before the official switch. So if you go to krl.org, it's an easy way. You just click on the banner. Beautiful. Nice. So here we are in the new website. I think I shared a little bit about it last month, so I won't go too deep into the back end, the hidden nooks and crannies of it. But you'll see on our current carousel, here we have the main image, which is just welcome to our new website. Please explore. And then the second image right here, you can either wait for it to turn or click the arrow, is celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander heritage. So this is sort of our little intro to all things that we are celebrating this month for AANH and PI communities. Before I click out of it, I want to just show again, I think I covered this last month, but everything on this top menu bar of our old website is just condensed into 3 right now. So browse will be all of our books and online resources, and then things that you can check out. Services is what all can the library help you do aside from checking out items or learning. So things you can do inside the branch and ways you can interact with our staff. And then classes and events are all of our classes and events. So these definitely warrant clicking through and exploring a little bit, but I just want to cover that again. And so let's just click right into our AANHPI banner with this lovely graphic that our communications department created. So that'll bring us to a page where we say a little bit about what we're doing this May. We're celebrating the generations of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders who have positively influenced and enriched our nation and society. So we have a collection of books and audiobooks highlighting their cultures, stories, and achievements. And we really just want to emphasize stories told by and about people from these communities. And so those of us who aren't from those communities can do some real good learning. So if you scroll down a little further, you see we have 3 curated staff lists. And this is similar to previous years too. It just looks a little bit different because of the new website. So you've got one for adults, one for teens, and one for kids. And one thing I've noticed, just so you're not surprised, is we tend to specify things that are for kids as kids, for kids as teens, and then for adults as kind of not specified. So you'll see AA and HPI voices, adults, AA and HPI voices, teens, and same for kids. So if you're looking for ones that are adults, just avoid the teens and kids and you're good to go. So we could just start right there. We'll click into it and it will bring us to a curated reading list from our collections librarians. So these are from our librarians in our collections and technical services department, our librarians who do the selecting of the books that we have in our collection. And so this is, I'll give you a little preview of what a curated reading list looks like.
Oh, please do.
Yeah. Because it's exciting. We couldn't accommodate this in our last catalog. This is one of the really cool services that we can do with a BiblioCommons website. And again, those of you who may use other library systems as well, like Seattle Public Library, it'll look very familiar because we use the same platform now. So it's a lot more social, which is kind of fun. So you'll see we have our reading list here for general recommendations. You can see this little item here says it's a staff created list, not a user created list, although you can do that if you are a user of our catalog and you create your account. Really easy, actually. So it'll give you a little description of what this is. It's just celebrating the cultures and stories within AA and HPI communities. And you'll see in the corner up here, it says by Kitsap librarians. You see a little logo there. And there's actually a little page specific for all of the reading lists that our staff librarians have created. And so you can kind of follow along and get some recommendations, which is kind of fun. So they've created other reading lists as well for like science fiction and gardening and humor fiction, things like that. We'll go right back though. There we go.
So do those reading lists change? You had gardening and financial literacy. Do those kind of rotate also?
So our staff do create them, on a schedule or periodically. So the ones that they create, I believe these should stay. So it's like you created a list; it's here for you to look at whenever.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Certain lists, like the one we're looking at just now, for instance, like we'll create it in time for an event or in time for a Heritage Month, so that it's just a bigger window to share with more people. But I believe these should be, settled here for the long run. And so you can refer back and be like, oh, I missed reading something from that list last month. Let me go back and check it out.
That was definitely my question. It's like, oh yeah, I actually want to go and look at plant life. I'm not ready to do it now, but maybe it's gone by the time I'm ready to circle back around to it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just clicked on, I'll show you what I did. I was looking at the list of lists. I saw there are 13 of them. So let's just go into the big list of lists. And you can see everything that Kitsap librarians, which again is our selector librarians who create lists for adults, or anyone who wants to read books for adults. Teens can too, no problem. So you see the name, general, the date it was published, and you see they're all very recent because we just shifted over. Mm-hmm. And then how many items are on that list. So it's pretty neat. Let's go into, for an example, National Poetry Month. That was April.
Well, I thought you were going to go into Have a Good Laugh.
Oh, we can do that too. Let's check out that one. It's probably more fun. All right. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Fiction that will make you chuckle. All right. So it'll show you the cover too, which is really neat. You'll see just a really brief description of the item itself. It'll say where it's available. So I'm going to click on that actually and see where a calm and normal heart is. It'll pop up a little preview. So you can see it's on the shelf at Little Boston and Pulsebo. Awesome. And if you are signed into your account on our catalog, you can go ahead and just place hold. It's like a one-click hold. Easy, easy, easy. We've got some Terry Pratchett, some Neil Gaiman, some Jasper Ford. I hear this one's really funny. Four Aunties and a Wedding. Oh, I was going to say, I don't think I read any of these, but I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a classic. Marwan, did any of these look familiar to you?
Just the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's the only one.
Yeah, I've heard this one's really funny.
Knock jokes or.
Yeah, so it looks like these are, I think they're all fiction and all just like.
Oh, Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah. You know, I haven't read that one either yet. It's come highly recommended. Yeah. So you'll just see it's a limited list. It's not super duper long. However, if there is one on here, or if you've read through everything on this list and you're like, I need more, these are so good. You're always welcome to get in touch with us and we can, find you more. There's, plenty more options than just the 24 items on this list here.
Nice.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, I just said nice.
Oh, yeah. Like there we go. So I'm going back just to get to our AANHPI list, which was on that whole list of lists also, but we'll start here. So this is a similar, it'll look pretty similar, right? Just a different title and different items. You see there's 22 of them here. You can see, for instance, like this one's available in some locations. This one, they're all booked up. Awesome. It's a pretty new book, 2022. And you can see we have 2 copies and 15 holds. So if you want to get into the availability, you can click in and see like, well, they're all out. As we said, but it's nice to be able to track where things are, which is pretty cool. So again, if you're signed into your account, you will be able to click place hold or little bookmark icon here can add it to your for later shelf, which means I am really jazzed to read this, but it's not the right time. Let me make sure I save this so I can get back to it. And it'll save the catalog record so that you can keep a list of things on your to be read list.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But if you hit the green place hold, then it will put me 16 in that list?
It should. You'll have to sign in first, though.
Oh,
so
wow.
This is, yeah. So this part will just be the one little extra step that you'll have to take to shift from the old catalog to the new catalog. And we recognize that it might be tough for some folks, might be a little confused, or this might be like a weird, like, why do I have to do this step? So basically, the first time you sign into our catalog, and I'll show you right up here, you'll see login my account. Click login or register. And so the first time you use this catalog, if you want to link it to your library account, you can browse without having signed into your account, no problem. Same as how I'm doing right now. You can look at items, see where they are. But if you want to link it to your library account and place holds and make lists, all that fun stuff, you just need to register first. And so what you'll need for that is just your library card number and your password. And so if you don't have that handy with you, you're welcome to stop into one of our branches or give us a call. And we can even like talk you through it on the phone if you need to. So you'll just sign in with your barcode on your card and your password. And then once you get to that step, then it'll be like, all right, welcome. Let's get you settled. So you can choose a username that isn't your barcode. If you want to keep your barcode as your sign-in method, awesome, fine. It's a long number, but some of us have memorized them and it's something to be proud of. But you can also choose a username. In our old catalog, you could also choose a username, and so you're welcome to try to use that one as well. The thing with BiblioCommons, though, is that all of the usernames available to KRL are the usernames available to every library system that uses BiblioCommons. So,
oh, wow.
Yes, which is awesome because that leads to that like social element where you can leave reviews of books and like things and star things and make lists and all that. But it does narrow the amount of usernames that might be available to you. So I'll give you an example. In our previous catalog, my username was just my last name, Charry. And I tried that for the new catalog and it was taken. And I suspect it was someone who was using C. Harry, like the name C. Harry, and not my last name, which is Cherry. So I just tweaked the spelling a little bit, and then it worked just fine. But just be prepared. And if you need suggestions, the catalog will also give you some suggestions, like, hey, add some numbers here and there. For kids, I believe the only difference for kids under a certain age is that it will just give you a preset username. And that's to make sure that, children's privacy is respected. So just be mindful when you're logging in to have your library card number and your password ready and just follow the prompts. It will guide you right through it. And then once you're in, you are all good to go. So I will go back.
So Priya, what happens so if I press that green button and it puts the book on hold, do I get a phone call or an email when it's my turn and it's available?
So you will get notified the way that you've asked to be notified in your account. When you make your library account, we ask you for an email and or a phone number as just some way to get in touch. And then we ask you, how do you want to be notified? By email, by phone call, or by text message? And so that's totally up to you. And you can change that in your account if you, like, for instance, lose your phone or have to get a new number or something. You can update that, change your notification preferences and all that. So if you selected to get text messages, you'll just get a little auto text saying the item you've requested is ready to pick up at this branch. And that's also how we get in touch if something that you already have checked out is going to be due soon, or if it's automatically renewed. So it's good to have a current way to stay in touch. If you change your email address or change your phone number, please go in your account and update that, or give us a call and we can do it for you, just to make sure that you're getting the notifications you ask for, or not getting the notifications you don't want. So you can select whether you want, like the most notifications for everything, like check out a book, get a notification, or just get the only ones that are necessary.
So if it's your first time logging in, because you haven't done it before, it might be a good time just to check that and update it then.
Yes, exactly. And if you're still like unsure where to look in the catalog, or you're, you just want some guidance, I've talked to many people over the phone as they're on their account online, and I'm like talking them through where to look, and we're totally happy to do that. So truly not a big deal. So yeah, this was just using this list as an example again, and it's full of really good stuff. We talked about the place hold. If you're signed into your account, that'll put on hold for you. The little bookmark here, we'll add it to your for later shelf. I like to just call it my bookshelf because my bookshelf at home is full of things I haven't read yet that I intend to read at some point. And then over on the side here, you see on the left-hand side, like and share. So that's sort of where that that social element comes in, where if you find a list that someone has made and you really like it, you're like, oh, I want to come back to this whole list, not just individual things on it. I'm going to like that, and it'll save it in your like lists. And then there's also a really cool share function where you can share to your favorite social platform, which is kind of neat. One last thing I'll show. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom real quick.
Can you share it with individuals also?
Let's see. Let's take a look at that.
I don't know all of the logos there, like the paper airplane. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that might just be email. I think that kicks you out to like an email service.
Oh, more. Okay, I saw Gmail.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it pulled up an Outlook window for me. What you should also be able to do is just share the URL, like the website. Because our catalog is available whether or not you're signed in. They should just function as, just paste the link in a text or something, or in a Facebook message. that way. If you tried and it doesn't work, though, please let us know, because we're still sorting out some kinks in this website. The last thing I'll do, I'll just pick a title here, pick an older one. And we'll go into the record for this specific title here. And I think I showed this last time, but you'll see a basic overview of the book, who it's by, ratings from members who've already read it outside of KRL. You see a little bit more about how to get a hold of this. There's 2 copies. One of them is currently available, and there are no holds. So you should be able to stop by Sylvan Way and pick up their copy, or put it on hold and have it sent to your local branch. You get some details about the book itself. You get some reviews. We usually put those in our catalog records so that you can see, like, has it been critically reviewed? And then the cool thing at the end here is this social element from the community. And so these are folks from other library systems who have read this book and left reviews based on their experience. You can see little star ratings or little descriptions. So you can, like, if something is a spoiler, like if you're reading something, you're like, oh, no, that's a really pivotal part of the plot. You can flag it, and then it'll bring up options to say, like, why is this flagged? Is this inappropriate? Was it a spoiler? And they actually do take spoilers super seriously in the catalog.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, seriously. So those are just a couple comments here. And then I do want to share toward the end as well here, staff lists featuring this title. So our staff will be under the name Kitsap Librarians, or Kitsap Librarians Kids, or Kitsap Teen Librarians, Kitsap Kid Librarians. There are other library systems who have included this in their lists as well. And so this is a really neat way where you can get recommendations, not just from our librarians, although we know and love them, but other librarians across the country as well. So let's check out Austin PL Adult Librarians, Austin Public Library, and they had a list for Filipino American History Month. So we'll go check that out.
While you're clicking on that, that's pretty awesome, Priya. So let's say, this is a military town, so I just came from somewhere else and wanted to see what my librarian in Chicago has put in there. That's pretty awesome. I like it.
Yeah, as long as they use BiblioCommons, which again is the website platform that lots of library systems use. So there's a pretty wide range of systems that are present on this. So now you can see it looks basically exactly the same as our list before, but you'll see it's Austin, a little description of what they were up to, and then a list of books that they have curated for this topic. So you can also save that to your for later shelf. I don't know if this leads to records in their catalog or not, though, because I'm not seeing the place hold. So what you can do instead is, this was the one they came from. Click on the, oh, that's an ebook. We're learning together, Marlon. This is great.
No, I love it.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're just checking out an item from their list, brought it over here. So this actually brought it out to the ebook version of the one we were just looking at. So it's a cool way to learn about other recommendations. This one I definitely know we have in our catalog because I read it here about a year ago. Yeah, so what I did, I just copied that title and popped it into our catalog, and here we go. So we can take a recommendation from their list and read it in our system. We have it at Little Boston. Yeah. So it's a really social, like easy to explore catalog experience, but if there are any questions that you have, or like sticky spots where you're just not really sure where to go from there, or even how to get started, you're always welcome to give us a call, stop in the branch, or you can even do a book a librarian request on our website and say, hey, I just want like a 20-minute tutorial. And one of us is happy to arrange that either in person or even over Zoom. We can do that. So,
all right. So I have a challenge question for you.
Okay.
So since this month is honoring Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I love sci-fi. So how do I find a sci-fi book written by an author from that demographic?
You can come at that a couple different ways. Do you have one in mind, or are you actually?
I don't.
Okay. I'm like, what's the right answer? I can give you.
But I thought it was kind of cool. It's like, again, what I was saying at the beginning of the show was, I love the fact that I don't have to necessarily, yeah, you should be intentional, but you
Mhm.
get busy. So it's like, all right, this is the theme. I
Yeah.
love sci-fi. So every month I'm gonna try to read sci-fi from an author based on that theme
Mhm.
that pops up that month. So it's like, hey, this could be a really cool way to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm just doing a really quick little thing in the background so that I can test whether it works before I go ahead uh, and blast it to the world here. So I'll say the way that library catalogs in general work are tricky because the topics that come up are the ones that are included in the description or
Hmm.
in the catalog record. And without getting too much into like library speak details, every item, so every title, like I Was Their American Dream, the one we just looked at, every title has a catalog record, which is like what it's called, who it's by, when it was published, who was the publisher, all those like hard nitty gritty details, like what format it's in, what edition, that type of thing. And then when we're making the catalog records, pull in lots of other details like publisher reviews, biographical info about the author, a little content blurb about what the book's about. If I search in the catalog for Asian American or Native Hawaiian, it will only pull up things that have that term somewhere in the description or the bio or somewhere in that catalog record. So
Okay.
if I wrote a book and I went by a pen name, Priya Anderson or something, but my actual last name was never mentioned anywhere in that catalog record. If you searched Priya Cherry, it would never show up. Might show up for
Oh,
Priya, but not for the last name, right? So there's little like catalog intricacies that you can work around. But one of the things that's kind of tough and that we really try to put some thought into is for these like heritage months are looking for people with a specific demographic. If it's mentioned in the description, awesome. If it's not, it just makes it a little bit more like a couple more steps to try to find something. So I'll show you an example of what I did. That is a easy place to start.
all right.
And then I will recommend, if you want some more guidance, hit up one of our librarians. So I'll start from home again, just so we can all do it together. All right, our homepage, we're going to go up to the catalog search
Oh,
bar
yeah,
and
let me
search.
pull you back up there again.
Oh, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, so we're going to go to the homepage and we're going to look at the search bar right up at the top here. And it defaults to search the catalog. You can change that if you want to search the website. We're going to stick with the catalog and we're going to stick with keyword. If you want to do something more specific, you can do that, but we're just going to stick with keyword for right now. And we are just going to type in Asian American science fiction. And it is the most broad, general thing. It is absolutely possible to get more detailed than that. But what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just laughing.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to bring up things that have the term science fiction, which is a very common one and very accurate. So if something's genre is specified as science fiction, awesome. That's exactly what we want. Asian American, a little more broad. So if I don't have like anywhere in any review or description or blurb of my book the term Asian American or even Asian, that might not pull an item up based on this search. However, a lot of like publishers do include like blurbs about like Asian American author so and so. So for instance, Flux by Jinwoo Chong, like that is a super recent science fiction book by an Asian American author. So that is a very accurate one that's been pulled up. And I hear it's fantastic. It's on my to be read list. Another one, for instance, yeah, Eyes That Speak to the Stars. This is a children's book and it is by an Asian American author. I don't necessarily know that it's science fiction though. So that's a tricky thing. Similar with Eyes That Kiss in the Corners. Lovely, very sweet, like heartwarming books. But the science fiction, I think it might have pulled science and fiction as two separate terms.
That's why I was just getting ready to ask you. So do we need to put some type of carrots or quotations around
So
Asian
you
American
can
and
do
science
that.
fiction?
There is a more advanced search functionality here, which is less pretty and a little harder to use, but it is worth digging into if you're interested. And I won't go too deep into that, but this one is useful because you can select like all the different types of items. So for instance, like I want to search for these, but I don't want any kids books, or I only want kids books, that type of thing. I want only adult books. I want only fiction. So the advanced search is really handy. It's just a little less glamorous, I would say.
I'm
Um,
liking it.
now, what might be a more detailed search would be to specify rather than Asian American, uh, Chinese American or Indian American, because that is a little bit more in line with how individual authors might describe themselves or their bios might describe themselves. So it's just think about what ways might be included in the description that you'd see, and try to use that. This is a really detailed process. I don't want to bore everyone too much. It's not as easy as just skimming a list of names and looking for ones that might
Well,
look.
yeah, that would be a massive list, right? This is so broad. Like,
Yeah,
what kind of science fiction are you looking for?
yeah. But I will say also, this is like a really great way to do some like if you're a social media person or an online person and you feel comfortable, like there are probably handfuls of reading lists that other people have posted. And I'm going to stop sharing for a sec just so I can dig into a search real quick that I want to test before I share it with you. Let's see. Because the list that we put out was just, Asian American voices, but we didn't get super deep into science fiction. And that is something that we can definitely pull up a list for you for. Off the top of my head, though, let me share one more time. And these are books that are on my to be read list, so no judgment because they've been on my list for a while. Flux by Jinwoo Chong, I've heard, is absolutely fantastic. And also, is it Sichin? Three Body Problem. There we go. Okay. This one, I think, was on President Obama's like favorite books of certain year list. And I haven't read it yet, but I hear it's absolutely fantastic. And then lastly, off the top of my head, Ken, is that his name? Ken Liu? Ken Liu is also a really well-regarded science fiction author who is Asian American.
Right.
Yeah. And this is me telling you books that are on my to be read list. So hopefully we'll both get around to reading them. Yeah.
So you have to tell me when you read some of them what you think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would love to have an accountability buddy to just get to the books on my list. And then also, just in a more casual way, a lot of our branches have displays up of books by AA and HPI authors. And if you go in and browse around and see something you like or don't see anything that's like your flavor, like, hey, I want sci-fi, we can always try to work with you to find something. So,
Nice.
yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to, digging in and learning this catalog. But it again, to me, it seems really intuitive. So just watching you go through it, and I could be looking at it through an expert's eyes, like, oh, look how easy and fast, she just clicked here and went there, and it was so easy.
No.
But it's great, bookmarking and, reserving a book just with one click. I think it's very, very easy to use from my vantage point on it. So it's like, all right, this will definitely encourage me to get in there and hopefully start cracking the spine on some books here.
Oh, absolutely. And the nice thing is the catalog does basically everything that the old catalog did. It just looks a little different. And so if there's any like apprehension or a little nervousness about shifting over, give it, 10 minutes of play around time and you'll be an expert. So I'm really hopeful that people will learn it, love it, make it a new part of their library experience. And again, if anyone has any questions, you absolutely are welcome to get in touch with your library staff and we'll help you sort them out. Yeah.
All right. Well, as we end our day, is there one thing that's happening down at the ML King Downtown Library that you want to let us know about?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I was so excited about the catalog. I just left all the programs to go. um, so for I want to make sure I'll give you an adult program and a kids program so that we have a little bit of both. In May, we're having a watercolor painting program for grown-ups. So it's just
Oh,
introduction to watercolor if you've never done it before. Um, Super gentle. We'll do, testers of different types of paint with additives to it. And that'll be on May 13th. That's a Saturday at 11 a.m. Registration is required for that one just to make sure we have enough stuff. So do check out our website for that or give us a call. And that's led by local artist Danny Gray. So that'll be a really good
oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are
And
these
then
free?
they are all free. Yes.
It's so awesome. If someone wanted to come in and say, hey, I've taken advantage of this watercolor, uh, workshop or class or whatever you're calling it. I'd love to donate to the library. Could they?
Yeah, if they'd like to. Yeah, we have in all of our, I think in all of our locations. I'm thinking of downtown, they're on our front desk, but we have these little envelopes. They're like yay big. And they're meant for, if someone purchases something from the book sale, there's some cash in there, but they are really just anytime donation envelopes. So if
Nice.
you would like to, we are so, so grateful. Um, but don't feel pressured to donate. All of our programs are free no matter what. We want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable attending no matter what their circumstances. And then later in the month, we have a kids program on Saturday, the 27th. That's at 11 a.m. And that's Make a Mayflower Bouquet. So they're going to be creating
Mm,
paper bouquets. It'll be fun.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So really hands on. We're getting our fingers busy. Yeah. Some
Well,
good
I
stuff.
love it. Man, again, a lot of great stuff happening at the Kitsap Regional Library. There are 9 of them, plus the mobile library and the what do they call the book boxes?
The book lockers at
Book
Pulsebo.
boxes in Posbo.
Mhm.
So many different ways to access the library. Lots of great things going on. So please do check out the Inspire this month so you can see what's going on and get ready for summer because it's coming up. It's going to be here in 30 days. And
Yes.
so we'll have to try to do something special for the launch of that. So, do we even know what the theme is for this summer yet?
It will be very similar to the last year or so that we had like a farming gardening focus.
Hmm.
So we're still trying to get people outdoors, get them connecting with nature and learning in all areas of their life. I will hold off on sharing the special tagline theme until then, but you'll also see because library staff have T-shirts that have it on the front.
Good, good. Well,
Yeah.
I will tell you, you talked about having an accountability partner for reading. I
Mhm.
am going to be trying to grow some kale this year,
Wow,
so we
wonderful.
will stay tuned on that, and I'll keep everyone posted here, as that was supposed to happen last year, but my accountability buddy was in Alabama, so hopefully this year she will be with me so that we can grow this kale together. But
Yes.
either way, I've got to do it. I can't blame my daughter for not trying stuff, right? I mean, how horrible.
It'll happen. I have faith. I believe it.
I hope so. That is the plan.
Mhm.
Any final words for you?
I would just say enjoy the new website, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy each other. We're like moving into spring, into summer. I feel like I'm a little bit more lighthearted and the people around me are too. So just keep that good energy up and say hi to us if you stop by the library.
All right, that is the final word. That is the adult service librarian Priya Chari at the Downtown Library. And you can also go to www.caro.org/ask us, tell us, email if you want to ask a librarian a question. So that's there on the screen for you. Well, we're going to say goodbye to Priya. Normally, we talk a little bit offline, but today, Priya, I'm actually streaming on 2 different devices. So
Whoa.
when I end here. I'll still be live there. So
We
I
got
want
you.
you to know that it's like we're still going. So we usually have a little side conversation. So I will say goodbye to you, and I will see you. Well, I'll see you in less than a month. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So but please stop in and talk to the librarians. We appreciate your time and enjoy the sunshine.
Thanks, Marwan. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All right. So